Hi guys, so since it seems that you quite enjoy Irish Theatre version 3.3, I was thinking it was a good idea to do another English presentation of the theaters because on a previous version I did the same and well, I think it's great to update the video presentation as well. So quickly, first disclaimer, you will need mods to play Iron Chess version 3.3. This is not the case for the old version. Now, let's refresh the page. Old version, you say. This one doesn't require any mod, but maybe it's obsolete, it doesn't work anymore. I have no clues, okay? So you need mod for the version 3.3. The mod are these ones. A special mention for LLH counter insurgency. This mod doesn't seem to be alive since any official post I've seen about it is on Reddit and it's like 2 years ago and there is no download link that is still alive. So I took the liberty to upload it on my Google Drive. So please, if you are the creator of the mod and you doesn't appreciate that, tell me and I will remove the link. But well, so you need these mods to play the game. There is a few features that I will explain later on the video. So first of all, and very quickly for the very kind of newbie one and the people who want to see the theaters very quickly, I will do a very quick presentation, sorry, and on the next time I will do more in-depth presentation if you are like an advanced editor. Okay, so very quickly, so Iron Chess, it's a theater that is now occupying almost all of the Persian Gulf map, almost entirely about a red and orange zone, which are zones where the enemies are, and the blue zone on like the good guys are. It's supposed to be played red or blue as well. It's supposed to be a PvE theaters. It's supposed to be a PvP theaters as well. So you can do anything you want on it. And most importantly, don't look at that as a mission, okay? This is not a mission, this is a theaters. You will need to add your mission to the theaters in order to play the thing. So let's take an example, like you want to do a mission on this area, so you will have to add your flight plan, your waypoints, your package, etc, etc, almost like in BMS, okay? Like in BMS, you get into the game, you get into a theater that is already moving, that is already alive, and you create your package according to what you see on the theaters, which is absolutely nice and logic. Unfortunately, DCS doesn't really work like that. When you join a live theaters, it's on the multiplayer side, obviously, but you cannot really create your flight. It's like difficult to have access to a great briefed situation, you know. There is very few web servers on which you can have great pictures of the situation. Well, so Iron Chess is supposed to be like on the middle ground between BMS way of working and DCS, okay? So in order to play the thing, obviously there are few client slots that are already working if you want to quickly fly, okay? But to build nicely your mission, I think it's the way Iron Chess is supposed to be working. So you need to plan your mission before doing it, okay? So on the left side here you have your client samples. You can also use the standard way and take the mission editor thing to create your flight, but I highly suggest you take these guys here because they are linked with the kneeboard, so the radio presets are already done. They are already linked to the kneeboard, which are on the mission editor, on the mission kneeboards, okay? But you can also create them using that, okay? Don't mind these guys over here, the blue ones, and these guys over here on the red side. These guys are for moves. I might be explaining that a bit later, okay? So let's take a mission example I've played a few days ago. So as I said, you need to add your flight plan. So I'm not going to explain how to do the mission editing thing, okay? There is plenty of tutorial on the YouTube, okay? So I will just explain the few example of mission you can do, okay? So you create your flight with the samples on the left. You get your waypoint, etc., your your flight as you want it, okay? You brief your mission, and you need to kind of know a bit about how Iron Chest is working, Iron Chest mechanics. So just to be very superficial and not going into the in the depth of the theaters. On the red side, this is like a very dangerous area because there is tons of SIM sites, and some of them are SN20, so these guys are monsters, okay? They will kill you within 14 nautical miles so quick. Well, they are very dangerous. I'll let you discover them. The almost all, no, every SIM site on the theaters are linked with Skynet, okay? So every SIM site are linked with each others and with the EWR, okay? There are some exceptions like the SA-15 over here. These guys, there are a few of them covering the EWR, and some of them are not very, they are not linked with Skynet yet, okay? There are some SA-11, SA-6 that are spawning definitely when you launch the mission. These guys are on the trigger side. I will explain that later. And well, I'd say that's it for the red side. And yes, there is lots of cap and bar cap red aircraft flying in the red zone. So the red zone, having in mind, there is a wall over here, and this wall is absolutely dangerous. If you cross this wall, you need to be goddamn prepared because it's going to be very difficult, okay? So let's say it's like hard place over here on the red side, and this is why on the version 3.3, which differs from the previous version, there is an orange side, and the other orange side is like an easy place to be, okay? You can take solo your A10, fly a bit around, and there's not going to be so much happening, okay? There is few red cap that will try to intercept you, but you are covered from law and these guys over here, the Patriot sites, okay? So it's like the easy zone. You can go with one or two guy and fly around. I'd say it's safe, okay? The only sim site that on the area are the S18 from Shiraz, but there is plenty of room to play. And there is some SA8 I've created over here. And as I said, because it's a structure of theaters, you need to add your mission on the theaters. This is why it's like almost, I'm not going to say empty, but this is your job as a mission editor and a mission planner to do the mission, okay? So maybe you need to find yourself like, oh, I don't want to do a cast mission, so I will add few units over here, blah blah blah. I've had my units over here and I want to do a strike mission on this area, so I will then add my package and fly here, and I will fly my mission within the entire theaters, okay? And everything is already set. You have tankers over here, you have some AWACS, etc, etc. I will moreover load the lastest mission. Please open the, yeah, I don't give a fuck. You will have to just add few things to make your mission working, but almost all the theater is working, okay? There is your AWACS, your tankers over here, okay? And well, that's it. There's tankers over here too. To keep going into a superficial presentation of the theaters, I let you zoom in every kind of place because there are some very some mini objectives you can task yourself within the mission. There is a fleet carrier over here and the Tarawa over here too, and these guys are working with Airbus script, okay? So you can talk with them with Airbus through the F10 radio menu, okay? Should I tell you some other features of the theater? Yes, there is one other feature you can activate yourself. If you, like me, you just do not give any fuck about what the ATC is telling you in this game because it's such a crap ATC, okay? There is a script that allows you to call to very politely tell the ATC to shut up, okay? So through the F10 menu, you go to ATC, etc. option, and set audio off, okay? This is great. I've talked about the blue zone. I've talked about the samples over here. Maybe I should add more samples. It'll come later, but well, I cannot add 40 client slot here. It's going to be a mess. Yes, I haven't talked about the farbs. So there is quite a nice farb over here for the Apache and the Gazelle and whatever helo you want to fly. I haven't talked about the ground unit. So all ground units should be up. Oopsie, these guys are not. All ground units of the theaters are supposed to be player can drive. So if you are a combine arc guy, sorry, you can drive any vehicle of the theaters. If not, it's not good. Okay, this theater is supposed to be a fully drivable theaters now. And I'm noticing lots of them are not. Whoopsie. Because these guys are like the very last one I've had onto the theaters. So yes, it's supposed to be a combine arm friendly theaters. It's supposed to be an AWACS friendly theaters. Blue-red theaters friendly, etc., etc. ELO friendly, a C-130 Hercules friendly because there is a farb for him over here, so he can land on the ground, on the sand. I've talked about ground units, drivable helo C-130. You can do some very nice cap and sweep flight on the orange and on the red side. You can do some very nice sweep missions, some really nice deep strike mission, etc. Air refueling, carrier. There is a base on the south which is very far away to do if you like to do a mission with kind of a long road. And well, that's it. I'd say that's it for the superficial presentation of the theater. So if you have enough, you can end it there. But if you are like an advanced mission editor, you can still around. You can remain around. So as I've said, let's start with Skynet. So I've had Skynets on many SA20. This is a very like as I said, it's a very superficial Skynet. So if you go into the mission folder, so you go I run chess file, and this is where every used file is located. Maybe I will sort the file because it's already a mess. So if you go to IHAD, you can see that this is a very rudimentary script. Okay, I didn't go any far away from that, so maybe I should improve it some days. Maybe I should have the blue coalition for Skynet, and I definitely should have the SA-15 to destroy any air weaponry. Okay, this is why I haven't had SA-15 into Skynet, because if I had them to Skynet, I struggle to make them intercept harms and other kind of weaponry. Okay, so I let them do their thing alone. Still, let's talk about Airbus. So Airbus setup is over here. You can trick any information you'd like. This is actually working. Airbus is linked with the tanker. There is a tanker orbiting around the fleet carrier. There is the ATC shut up link. There is Hercules link script, sorry, to make his cargo working. If you don't know about it, you can search around. I've talked about IHADs. About the red cap, everything is here. The blue cap, sorry. Most of the blue cap is for defense purposes, and there are also some big daddy flights. So these guys are mostly transport aircraft or very big bombardier like the B-1. Okay, B-1, Black Hawk, etc. There is also a neutral traffic on the theaters, because it's supposed to be like a Cold War theaters when two sides are in front, but doesn't really attack each other except for the orange zone, which is a contested zone. So there is a neutral coalition flying around. Okay, this is the very huge U-shaped polygon over here. Okay, and oh yes, the neutral aircraft are over here on the south, and I need to uh, make them more visible. Okay, there is a neutral coalition. Let's talk about the red moves. So I've had three type of moves um, IA. So there are some cap, which is like the very normal thing about moves, but pay attention that the cap of moves are for some of them constituted of air-to-ground um, aircrafts. So it's kind of confusing. Why would you need? Why would you want a cap to be constituted of Su-25? This is stupid. Yes, it's not stupid because it's for the very easy zone, the orange zone. Okay, so I do not want to have IN sweeps fighters. Okay, and also because I'm not very sure about adding some air-to-ground aircraft to be in this area. Maybe I'll see that if I had that. So first type of aircraft are the conventional aircraft. Sorry. Another type are the interceptors one, which are the GCI. Okay, these guys are tasked each time an object enter the zone. Sorry, the GCI is sending an aircraft or more to intercept the guy. And the last guys are the backup one. The backup one are like the cap one. But I asked them to back up on the zone. Okay, so the cap are going to wandering around. Okay, on their respective zones, and the backup guys are going to set some backup track. Okay, as simple as it is. And well, that's it. And also there are some cargo plane around. Okay, for the Red Coalition, Ilushkin 76 and Antonov 26B. Okay. And there are also the Big Daddy, which are cap aircraft but air-to-ground aircraft. Okay. Let's do a bit more. I've talked about moves. Yes, the kneeboards. Very nice thing, and the newest thing I've had for the theaters are, as I said, you need to use the sample on the left to play the mission. Why should you use them? Because they are linked, not the A10 because the A10 is different. But let's take the higher. The higher have radio presets here, okay? And these radio presets are imported into the mission via this software, okay? Data card generator. You should download it. It's pretty much useful. And this is where I've set up my radio preset, okay? So each time I'm changing something here, and I said export the mission, export com card, sorry, it's going to export these setups onto every client radio presets. Okay, so this is why you should build a mission with this guy, because these guys are already with the presets. Okay, and obviously this image is into the kneeboard folder, and this kneeboard folder is also copy and paste into the mission, the Mies, okay? I need to sort these guys out because it's a mess. And I've also, last one, there is a PowerPoint if you'd like to change anything, okay? So if you prefer to have the mission like that, okay, for example, do whatever you want with that. Okay, so I think I've talked about everything. If you have any question, if you have any suggestion, please feel. Oh, last features. There is here a shooting range. Okay, if you play combined arms, I've built a quick short shooting range. Well, very small features of the theaters. Well, yes, as I was saying, If you need anything, you are free to ask. I'm not that sure that I will implement anything on the theaters because this theaters is built for my squad run, and if it's not a direct need for my squad run, there is like not that much chance for me to add it into the theaters. Okay. Well, and that's it. I think I've talked about everything. And well, see you next time. Hope you will appreciate this video and obviously the theaters. And have a good one. See you. Bye bye.